When people picture spies, they imagine disguises, daggers, dramatic escapes, Jason Bourne, James Bond. Abraham Woodhull showed the world what really real espionage actually looked like: patience, silence, and a farm that hid one of the most dangerous intelligence pipelines of the American Revolution. By day, he was just another Long Island farmer. By night, he was Samuel Culper Sr., one of the most intelligent assets George Washington ever had. Welcome to our republic.
When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political band,
sailors and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force.
Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the founding fathers. Not
one small step for man. Those three hallowed words reverently dictate what you ought to be, what you can be, what you will be.
We pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Woodhull lived in Setauket, New York, a small community on Long Island that sat in a dangerous position during the Revolution. Long Island was largely under British control, filled with loyalists, British patriots, and informants. Patriot sympathy was rare and deadly. I don't think much has changed. Woodhull had already been arrested once by the British earlier in the war and nearly imprisoned in New York City. He learned quickly that this war would not be fought safely in the open. When his childhood friend Benjamin Talmadge approached him in 1778 with a proposal to serve in Washington's new intelligence network, Woodhull understood exactly what the costs would be. If he was exposed, he would hang. But like any other true American patriot, he accepted anyway. Talmadge gave Woodhull his code name, Samuel Culper Sr., and from that moment on, Woodhull never again signed his real name to intelligence correspondence. His job was deceptively simple: travel to British-occupied New York City, gather intelligence through trusted contacts, return to Setauket, feed the information into the Culper courier chain, and in reality, it meant moving constantly through enemy territory while under surveillance by both British military and local loyalists, who would have gladly turned him in. Every trip could have been his last. But Woodhull became the central hub for the entire Culper operation. Almost every piece of intelligence passed through his hands before reaching Washington. He worked directly with Robert Townsend, again inside New York City, Anna Strong, who signaled the couriers when the couriers could move, Caleb Brewster, he's the one who ferried the messages across the Sound, and Austin Rowe, who rode messages towards Washington. From his farm in Setauket, Woodhull managed the message flow, timing, and security of the entire network. If Woodhull fell, the ring would undoubtedly collapse. Unlike other agents who worked inside cities or moved constantly, Woodhull had a fixed address. Everyone knew where he lived. British patrols passed by his property all the time. Loyalist neighbors watched his every movement. Any unusual travel, any unexplained visitors, any sudden absence could raise suspicion. At times, Woodhull panicked. In his coded letters to Talmadge, he confessed fear, exhaustion, and paranoia. I mean, who wouldn't? He worried constantly that he was being watched. More than once, he considered quitting, but Talmadge pushed him to stay. Washington needed him. So, like any other American badass, Woodhull stayed. Through Woodhull's coordination, the Culper Ring reported troop movements in New York City, exposed British plans on raids in New England, supplied intelligence during the Yorktown campaign, provided warnings about loyalist plots, and helped reveal the scope of that traitorous loser Benedict Arnold's treason. Woodhull didn't gather all of this stuff personally, but without him, much of it would have never reached Washington. He was the filter, the gate, the nerve center of the Culper spy ring. Unlike some intelligence figures who later sought recognition, Woodhull never did. After the war, he quietly returned to civilian life. He became a judge, he raised his family, never publicly revealed his role in the Culper spy ring. For decades, his identity as Samuel Culper Sr. remained unknown. But Washington knew, Talmadge knew, and history would discover it much later. Abraham Woodhull never stood on a battlefield, never wore a uniform, never received public honor in his lifetime. Yet, from a quiet Long Island farm, he helped guide the decisions that moved armies and shifted the course of the entire revolution. And it's a short one today. We got a lot of the Culper Spy ring to get to. I love it. If you're interested, you can go watch the TV show Turn. I know it's loosely based off the Culper Spy ring, but it's absolutely brilliant. I love the show. You should go watch it. Great acting, all that stuff. Makes Benedict Arnold look like a complete idiot, which I love. And I really appreciate you taking the time to listen. Remember, history is not boring. It is the story of a farmer who turned silence into a weapon and helped win a war without ever firing a single flippin' shot. We will see you next time.